Welcome back to Leeds Lately. Before we get into this one, if you could just check out that link down in the description below, you'll get 10% off classic football shirts if you use Leeds Lately 10 at checkout. And Leeds United have just won 3-2 at Carrow Road from 2-0 down. I was saying to my live stream before how I thought when we were 2-0 down, I really can't be bothered making a match reaction. You wait all that time for the international break and you think, oh, when are we going to get back to Leeds? And then you go 2-0 down away at Norwich and it's just, oh, God, this is awful. And we end up winning the game 3-2. Unbelievable. What a game it was. What a victory. We are now third in the table. And yeah, I couldn't be happier. So let's talk about the actual game then. When we started off the game, I did feel that Norwich probably were the better team in that first half for large periods of it. And their pressure told with 2 goals. The first goal came in from a corner and Shane Duffy was just able to head that one into the back of the net. And it was a really good header, but we really should have been marking him a lot better than we were. And that is a concern for us. The second goal, obviously, Gabriel Sara should have been tackled in the box. We gave them too many chances in this game. But we created a lot ourselves as well. And that's the thing with Farke. You may give away some chances, but you will create a lot. And the one where Glenn Kamara did a little 1-2 with Jorginho, went across the box and curled it past the post. He really should have scored that. We had one where Dan James slipped the ball in for Pirro and he curled it past the post and it just wasn't a very good finish. The one where Dan James knocked it under Duffy and went through and then just skied it. I think there was a couple of Somerville chances as well. And I think overall, we created enough in that first half to actually be 2-2 in the first half. And a lot of people were saying in the chat, and I was saying as well, I think we need to make some substitutions at half time to change this game. And he didn't, and we kind of expected him not to because he doesn't really like to make substitutions at half time. But when he did make the substitutions a little bit later on, they had a massive impact, and we'll go into that in a minute. But I do think overall, even when we were 2-0 down, we were still creating chances. It was just our finishing that left so much to be desired. Our finishing had been really, really poor in that game, and we really needed somebody to take the game by the scruff of the neck. And our first goal kind of did that for us, but without particularly being very good. Dan James with a ball to Dan James, should I say, down the line, and him in the box, and he tries to cross it across the face of goal, and it actually hits the goalkeeper, bounces up, hits Shane Duffy and goes in for an own goal. Now, I know if people in the comments who are regulars on this channel, I blab on about that corridor of uncertainty. If you smash a ball across the goal in that area, there's a lot of own goals that you can get per season for it. And Dan James did just that. It came off Shane Duffy and went in, and you start to think, okay, well, maybe we've got something now. Maybe we can come back and get into this game. But even then you were like, okay, it's going to take a little bit for us to do so. But then the substitutions, which were really, really odd at first, because you saw, who was it that came off first? I think Byram came off for Jadon Anthony and Kamara came off for Bamford. So it was like, hold on, we've got like 6 up front here. But it still seemed to work, and we still seemed to have enough back to defend. And we created more and more chances. We were missing chances. We were creating them, though. And Norwich tailed off a little bit towards this side of the game. And whilst they were good in the earlier phases, I do think that they did tail off towards the end of the game. And maybe that was fitness, I don't know. But they came out the blocks really well. And then later on, they weren't pressing as much. They weren't able to get on top of us as much. And that told in the end for us. So our second goal then, it was a short corner. Loads of people, I don't know if it's unfair to say particularly older fans, they hate short corners. But sometimes they do work. The ball came across to Somerville, he came across the box and he just curled it, hit the post and in. Really, really good. I think it was a corner. If it wasn't, then you can slate me in the comments. Not bothered, because we won. But yeah, Somerville curled it, hit the post and in. Excellent finish. After we've been really struggling, and earlier in the game I said Somerville just never gets those on target. He always just pings them over the bar, but this time it was perfect. Hit the post and in. Then the actual winner that we scored was again Somerville, but this one was, I think Wagner will be so annoyed at Norwich for the goal that they conceded, because it was their free kick and they left. It was pretty much like what we used to get conceded. We used to concede goals like that last season under Jesse Marsh, because we'd have a corner or whatever and they'd just run the length of the pitch and score. That's exactly what happened. They had a free kick though, and they just left themselves so exposed at the back. So when we cleared it, the ball went to Jorginho Rutter, and he just played a ball into Somerville, and Somerville was away. He ran down the line, cut inside, and just curled it past the goalkeeper to make it 3-2. Excellent goal. Really good composure. And Somerville, as for me, that takes us on to talking about the players. Absolutely man of the match. I think Jorginho Rutter, again, was really good, but for me, Somerville's man of the match. But let's go from back to front. So, Meslier, I think Meslier had a good, solid game. I don't think either of the goals could be pointed at him. The second one was smashed past him, and the first one was point-blank range header, so there's not much he can do about those. But I think in situations where he had to be commanding, he was. He came out, he came forward, and he basically came and claimed them, and he punched them away. He pushed chances away. The free kick that Sarah took, he was able to dive and get two strong hands to that and push that one away. And then there was one where the ball came across, he saved it right into the path of Adam Ida, and he could have put that one in, but skied it over the bar in the end. Or should I say Adam Skider? That was terrible. I'll go. But yeah, other than that, I think Meslier had a very solid game. I think Archie struggled today. I think he did okay. He wasn't terrible, but he struggled up against a really good championship winger like Hernandez. And he did turn him inside out a couple of times and get past him. So it wasn't as good a game as what he had against Bristol City. But I think everybody else played really well. So when you go across the back line, I think Rodon played well. I think sometimes he could have been a little bit quicker to get to a ball and move the ball quicker himself. But other than that, I think he was solid. I think Strauch was a really good, again, drove us up the pitch, got the ball and kept it. And obviously everything went through him again, as it always does, which is really good from him. Sam Byram, good game. Certain bits where he could have done better with the ball in attack, and certain bits where he probably could have done better against his man defensively. But in the end, he had a solid enough game. Ampadu, again, really good. Got into a lot of tackles and spread the ball out nicely. Wasn't able to really get any long balls sprayed out this time because Norwich were pretty good in that midfield with Kenny McLean, and he was doing that job for them, spraying balls all over the place. Kamara, I think, did well in the first half, getting forward and stuff, but I think it was his time to come off when he did, because I think he'd sort of drifted out of the game a little bit. Then we get to the forwards. Dan James, really good game. Just lacking that end product. And how long have we been saying that? It is disappointing, but I think all in all, he managed to squeeze the ball in somehow for that first goal, so you can't really begrudge him too much. Somerville, like I said, man of the match, really took the game by the scruff of the neck and tried to get forward. Pirot, I don't think he did little bits later on and was more involved later on when we had more support from those 5 or 6 attackers that we had on. But yeah, I think Pirot didn't have his best game. Jorginho had a really, really good game. Bamford did okay when he came on, didn't do too much. I was impressed with Nonto when he came on. He was able to get a couple of shots across the goal, and the keeper had to make a save. So I think Nonto did well. And then Jayden Anthony was the last one. And I think he did all right as well. I don't think he did anything fantastic, but he was composed. He kept the ball well when we were trying to see the game out. Cooper and Ayling came on. Was like for 2 minutes at the end, so there's not much to say about them. They were okay. Ayling gave away a free kick, which he shouldn't really have because Rodon probably had it dealt with. But I'm going to rest my voice for a little bit because I've just done a live stream for 2 and a bit hours and now recorded this video as well, so I think I'm going to be mute for the rest of the weekend to let my voice box recover. But that included a bit of screaming because we won 3-2 and we've gone third in the league. 22 points after 12 games. Really, really good from Leeds. They're improving all the time. The game, we weren't fantastic, but we did enough to win the game. And to come back and win a game like that just shows the attacking prowess that we have in our forward line. So fantastic result. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. As usual, hit that sub button because we're trying to hit 10k by the end of the season. And yes, join me in the next one, whether that be a live stream, Joe's podcast, Joe's the final word, whichever one it is, I'm all over. So yes, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.